Vocabulary Set 5. In this video, I'm going to read through the definitions of the vocab words, and I'll read through the examples and then explain the next set of pages so you know what to do on your own. Number 1 is dense. It's an adjective and it means something that's tightly packed in. So the crowd was so dense, it was impossible to move down the street. Synonyms, we have compact, antonyms, thin and sparse. 2 is deplete. Deplete means to use up. Brenda owns so many cats that she is going to deplete this pet store supply of cat food. 3, eclipse. Eclipse is a verb. It means to overshadow or surpass. Her acting ability will eclipse those of her peers in no time because she rehearses all day. Eclipse is also a noun used to describe a large blockage of light. When the sun's light is blocked out by the moon, that's a solar eclipse. 4, eerie means weird, scary, or creepy. The abandoned orphanage was especially eerie at night. 5, effect. Effect is a result or consequence. The effect of not taking the garbage out was the loss of my weekly allowance. 6, esteem. Esteem is to honor or think of highly. Mr. Stewart esteemed his students for their honesty when they told him he had given out a test with the answers printed on the back. Synonyms, to admire. Other forms, esteem can also be a noun meaning admiration, honor, or reverence, as in Bart, a kindergartner, holds his teacher in high esteem. Excel. When you excel, you outdo or surpass. It's to be extremely talented at something. So my sister will try to excel at her new job in hopes of getting a raise in salary or a promotion. Futile means useless. It was futile for my mom to try to talk her way out of her speeding ticket with the policeman. Synonyms, pointless and hopeless. Antonyms, useful or fruitful. Number 9, hazardous. Something that's hazardous is dangerous or risky. Many firefighters enter hazardous situations in order to save victims from burning buildings. Antonyms, we have safe and secure. Influence means to sway or affect. Whenever Grady babysits his little sister, he always tries to influence her to go to bed early by giving her candy. Another form is the influence of drugs and alcohol in Stella's neighborhood was too much, and she gave in to the pressure. 11, monotonous means having very little variety. It stays the same and it gets boring. Working on an assembly line was a very monotonous job for Eddie, who liked to be active and outside. So synonyms, we have repetitive, dull. An antonym would be varied or interesting. Another form is the monotony of being a lifeguard all summer long started to wear on me in mid-August. 12, prominent. Prominent means well-known or noticeable. Dumbo is a prominent cartoon character and his ears are his most prominent feature. Synonyms, sticking out, obvious, or famous. 13, quest. A quest is a search or pursuit. The pirates were on a quest for gold treasure. Synonyms, mission, expedition, or hunt. Quest can also be a verb meaning to search for, as in Jim quested after treasure but never found any. 2 more. Solar. When something's solar, it means it's related to the sun. My parents put solar panels on our roof to help our pool stay heated. And unique means one of a kind. The insect that I captured was so unique that biologists from 3 different countries were contacting me about it. Synonym, we have distinctive. Antonyms, common or normal. All right, so on this page, we know that they used the wrong word in bold. So you need to figure out which word actually belongs and write that word on the sentence. Remember, for this one, it's best to skip around, do the easy ones first. Cross them out as you go at this top line up top. So there's 15 of those. For 5E, you circle the word that finishes the sentence, and then you use the opposite word in your own sentence and write it on the line. So for example, not climbing to the top of Mount Everest was an effect of my fear of heights. So I would circle effect, and I would write Erie, use Erie in a sentence right here. 5F, each word in here, vocab word, has a match. It has a match of a synonym or an antonym. Draw a line to your match. Then we have our story, which I'm going to read in just a second. You'll have a story, 5 questions, and then creative questions at the end. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and read this story out loud. You can always go back to this part of the video when you get to this page. So you don't have to start with this one. You can pause it and then come back to it. I have been fascinated by eclipses all of my life. As a young girl, I remember feeling something magical the first time I saw the moon pass in front of the sun. My whole neighborhood stood in a deep shadow, and I knew that from day on, I would study eclipses. Now I'm a professor of astronomy at the University of Michigan. In fact, I'm a prominent astronomer in this country, mostly because I'm an expert on eclipses. Eclipses are unique events that occur in the solar system and can be observed from planet Earth or other locations. On average, only 4 to 7 eclipses can be seen from Earth each year. Some are what we call total eclipses, but usually they are only partial. A total eclipse is the most impressive to see. An eclipse occurs when one object in space moves into the shadow of another. Planets and stars cast shadows just like people and trees do. A lunar eclipse occurs when the moon moves into the shadow cast by the Earth. The effect is usually a little eerie. A circle-shaped shadow passes over the moon until it's very hard to see. After about 90 minutes, however, the moon will be visible again. Solar eclipses are even more breathtaking. During a solar eclipse, the moon passes between the Earth and the sun, blocking out the sun's rays. In many ancient cultures, solar eclipses were thought to be a sign that the world was coming, or that the end of the world was coming, or that gods were angry. Today, we understand them to be simple astronomical events, but they are still just an amazing sight. In fact, I've gone on eclipse-chasing quests, traveling to China just to see solar eclipses. This is necessary because some eclipses are only visible in certain parts of the world. One thing is very important, however. Looking directly at the sun, even during a solar eclipse, can be very hazardous. You might seriously damage your eyes. So enjoy eclipses, but make sure you view them safely.